wageni watatu wa Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa, like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here. Are you tired of fighting with your wife or with your husband? Have you each retreated into your separate corners, not even trying to speak to each other anymore? Are your children witnessing a toxic marriage rather than a purposeful partnership? Hi, I am Shar, and I am an attorney mediator and experienced in helping families for the past 13 years navigate really challenging times. And I am here to help you. Husbands, hear your wives. Wives, hear your husbands. So together we can find the truth why your family is struggling and what it will take to get unstuck from cycles of misunderstanding and patterns of frustration. Join me live on YouTube on this Monday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern as I conduct a live mediation. And if you would like to be heard, if you would like to hash out a misunderstanding with your spouse here on our live, sign up now to apply for your free opportunity to mediate. And I look forward to seeing you Monday night.
Shalom, Salama, Siemi, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world. Whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, I welcome you this morning. We welcome you this morning. Thank you, family, for persevering with me, for tarrying with me just another day longer. I appreciate it, family. it I don't know what happened yesterday. I think I hit a nerve with going after Venus. I think I hit a nerve with the Europe song, the final countdown. And now I'm getting ready to hit nerves with them again because, oh boy, now they're going to come for my internet connection. I tell you. I tell you. Oh, but everything that we're doing, there's a buildup, the crescendo. And the crazy thing is, even as I'm speaking, let me tell you what's happening as I'm speaking. They're having the ceremonies for the D-Day. And this year marks the 80th anniversary of D-Day. I would have watched a little bit more of it, but I said, we're going to talk, we're going to get on here. We're going to talk about these giants. These giants in the land. Shout out to Teo Ministries, Brother Yakoba, Brother Teo. Shout out to Big Red. Shout out to Sister Gates of Holden and many more that they've touched on this. You can get a lot of this fantastic research at blackhistoryinthebible.com. Brother Dante puts together fantastic biblical research, biblical indexing. But if you didn't notice, the thing about giants is that they've literally shown you, right, the giantism genes, things of that nature. How did those genes get into the population? And not genuine of how did you get into those genes? No, we're talking about genetics. How did those genetics get into a certain population group? And Guard said NBA players. Oh man, you're wrong for that, Garth. So there are things that we have to consider as we have been dealing with the giants that are in the land. And I'm going to be very, very Frederick Casey Price Jr. about this. Because I may have a little bit of giant in me too. We may all be giants of varying degrees. You're a giant. I'm a giant. We're all a giant. Hey, hey, hey. So I brought up this tapestry here. And why is this tapestry so important? Why are we at where we're at in this? What is going on with these things? Waiting on Sister Chantel. But Sister Chantel always loves to bring this up, the tapestry of Wartberg. And I will share this tapestry of Wartberg, the wild men of Wartberg. Because the wild men don't play. And you have to truly understand what this tapestry, what the tapestry represents. I'm going to share the screen, family. I want you to visualize and see it. I have the I know that I am under a YouTube shadow algorithmic I'm a parolee. The digital man is a watching. So you have to understand what this tapestry really meant. Let me see if you all can see that. Shalom, Sister Chantel.
There be giants.
There be giants in the land. I'm a giant. You're a giant.
Hey, bro, speak for yourself, mate.
We all
Speak
have some giants.
yourself.
There's some giants. There's some giants. Some of us, listen, it is what it is. I'm just waiting to megamorphosize into a Zordon.
Does it come with add-ons?
I think that is a
Definitely. Oh, this. This one's getting shut down for sure.
It is. It is. Dun, 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 dun. Who's gonna? I just want to know. I feel sorry for those that turn into the beast. I really do feel sorry for
With your blue face.
them.
Oh man, Head and Shoulders. Oh my gosh, can you imagine how much shampoo he goes through daily?
So, Sister Chantel, I'm waiting on Teo. I am waiting on Teo Yakoba. I'm actually waiting on Yakoba. Yakoba. I said that 3 times.
Yakoba.
Do you have your lights out? Are you looking at the mirror?
Looking in the mirror with a towel over your head and a lighter in your hand.
Because here's Yakoba from New Orleans, from Louisiana, the swamps of Louisiana. Are you able to take the hook off so you can type on the keyboard, Brother Yakoba?
Hey, fam.
We called and he answered. He's there.
Look,
Shalom, brother Yakoba. How are you?
Y'all talking about something I like?
Look,
Yeah.
we had that beehive, sitting there on the fallen tree, and we're like, oh, here comes Yakoba, man.
Yeah, I got stung a few times as well, man. My face is all jacked up.
Yeah, when people see me, they say, "Here come trouble."
That's right.
Oh, because I wanted to. So we have this, and I want to read this scripture here.
Karis, you didn't say the magic word, Yakoba. See, Letitia?
I did. I said Yakoba. I did.
Oh, you
said
did?
that.
Yeah, even I called you.
Oh, yeah.
And there was an echo behind it as well. Yakoba.
I guess that's why I came then, huh?
Yeah, big so.
Listen. I'm waiting for Red, because once Red gets started, once you light that fuse for Red, oh my goodness.
You gotta say red.
No, you gotta say
Exactly. I was about to say.
get Red revved up. See, because what happened is when them giants came on in here, they never went away. They didn't.
Yeah, by the time he's done, your ears might be bleeding a little bit,
Oh yeah, Red very studied in this area.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He will bring his point across. He will let you know. I've done this. I've done the research. You told me the research. You showed me the research. I've done this. Oh man.
I kind of think today is going to be messy for these Gentiles. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Gentiles. It's just going to be what it's going to be.
It is. Listen, and before we get started, Brother Yakoba, I saw the post of the ChatGPT response. If you would like to address that before we get started in terms of the subscribers and the views and how they have been algorithmically manipulated. And really, you have the electronic pot calling the kettle black. AI battle wars.
Yeah, they been very bad with us from day one. And in the beginning, YouTube used to physically unsubscribe people, and people used to contact me and say, "I got unsubscribed," right? And I have my one of my other accounts that I use for my regular human person, and I got that one got unsubscribed. So I personally got unsubscribed from my own channel, right? And
What?
yeah, they just didn't know it was me, right? And so now it's like, okay, I would look at people who got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I look at their views. I said, this don't make any sense. I said, we hover around the 50s. You know how long it took us to go from 49 to 50?
It took you like 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
I looked at that. I was like, dang. I said, this Negro's channel's never going to grow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And I said, this doesn't make any sense, because I'm looking at these guys with a lot more subscribers, but they don't have as many views. Right. And so I'm like, okay, well, I said, they must be, throttling our views, subscribership. And so lately, when they made the change to the interface to YouTube, like you were showing, Karis, the views is lower than the likes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's impossible, right?
Yep.
And so it's like, okay, they're really playing with it. So then, like, I'll do a live. I'd have like 1,500 people in the live. When the live is over, I got 400 views. Make it make sense.
I remember when you used to have like almost like over 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, I've had over 2,000 views in the live before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then you watch the people who supposedly got more subscribers than me, they don't have nowhere near that. So that's why I say, well, let me check with ChatGPT and see what it should be based upon the viewerships. It's just a high level estimate, right?
Yes.
And so, it said between 100,000 to 300,000 subscribers, which makes sense to me based upon the viewership, But hey, I don't care. I don't worry about it because that's what I expect from the devil,
Mm-hmm.
So, and definitely these people who control this system are freaking straight up demons, dude.
Yeah. I look at it. I look at some of these subscribers too, and it's like, wait a second, you have 135,000 subscribers, but I have more people on the live than they do. I'm like, something's not right. I had to bust up my Keith Sweat. Why you got to do it like this, baby? Over and over again.
Well, Karis, that means we doing the work of the Most High, because if the devil ain't fighting you ain't doing nothing.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, exactly. So I was just on the live, or I was just on with Brother Mike earlier today. There's a lot of great things that's going on in the background, because we have to do these things in the background. But one of the things that is happening right now, which is what was brought on up. So back on Monday, we talked about certain things and how we're being led to this position of, right, they're going into the fight. They're going into the fight. And it's funny because I see Joe Biden sitting all up there, all looking all crusty, like he don't know what's going on. Right now, you can watch it right now on like CNN and things of that nature. They're in Normandy, France. And, the bait has been set, the trap has been set, because we've been in Obadiah. We were reading Joel chapter 3. And as we were going through the scriptures, right, one of the things that was catching and telling, especially when you're understanding Second Esdras and things of that nature, now is really a time frame to where they're building towards their captivity. And as they're building towards their captivity, I wish I could go in here and have like a magnifying glass, but it doesn't. I don't know. Hopefully it's a little bit better. That may be a little bit better. But my argument has been this. I think that, can you all see that? Is that a little bit better? Is that a little bit more scrolled in? I may have to do this. Let me gin this on up as I'm talking. My argument has been this. As in the days of Noah, right? And to me, this is my kind of personal connotation of, as we're in the days of Noah, there's going to be a lot more revelations being made. Because why? When you read Obadiah 1 and 15, when you're reading Joel, when you're reading Second Esdras, things that have been lost, they say, quote unquote, lost or hidden in history, it's going to be rediscovered. And when it's rediscovered, folks are going to lose their minds. Am I right to say that, Brother Yakoba? Brother Yakoba's on mute. But Sister Chantel has had this tapestry up quite a while, multiple times. And I'm going to share this. Give me a second. I'm going to share this screen. And then we're going to read from some of the scriptures here. I'm coming out of Numbers. Chapter 13. And if you all have any type of support or amplifying scriptures, feel free to share. Feel free to share. Here you go. Can you all see that better?
It looks better to me.
Okay, good. Let me get this into the slideshow view. Okay. All right. Is that better right here?
That's
There
a
we
lot
go.
better.
There you go. There we
It's
go.
clearer. You can see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're cooking. We're cooking now. All right, because now we're cooking. It's gonna. All right. Please like, share, subscribe, because now that I shared this image, there's gonna be some sort of copyright violation. You all know this. All right, but I'm gonna come into here. I'm not gonna read everything, but I want to read the context of what the Giants were doing and where the Giants were living.
Before you do that, have you seen their toenails?
Well, let's go into here. All right. Actually, I will go. I'll start. Spies set in the Canaan. So this is Numbers chapter 13. This is out of the New King James Version. It's the New King James Version that I'm reading out of. And it started at verse 1. And Yahuwah spoke to Moses, saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel. From each tribe of their fathers you shall send a man, every one a leader among them. So Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran, according to the command of Yahuwah, all of the men who were heads of the children of Israel. Now these were their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shamuah, the son of Zachar. From the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, the son of Hori. From the tribe of Judah, Caleb, the son of Jephunneh. From the tribe of Issachar, Igal, the son of Joseph. From the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Nun, which is Joshua. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, the son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, the son of Sodi. From the tribe of Joseph, that is from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Susi. From the tribe of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gamali. From the tribe of Ashur, Sether, the son of Michael, or Mikael. From the tribe of Naphtali, Napi, the son of Vosphi. From the tribe of Gad, Goel, the son of Maki. These are the names of the men who sent to spy out, these are the names of the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Joshua. So they had to clarify that was Joshua. Joshua went on in there and was looking at the land. So this is now Numbers 13:17. Then Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, go up this way into the south and go up to the mountains and see what the land is like, whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak. Wait a second, Yakoba. Go up this way into the south. Does that sound to me as though they are looking south or going north?
I mean,
What is
what in this image or what? What?
go up this way and to the south. Go up this way into the south and go up to the mountains. I think you had that breakdown, and folks have had the breakdown, especially with Go Black to Africa.
I was watching that too. Mm-hmm.
And he was literally showing you what you showed last year.
Oh, yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, I'm like, Go Black. You like what, a year late?
Yeah, well, listen, better late than never with some folks. I mean,
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
That's true. But if it comes from me, some people don't want to show it, right? So
Listen, I hear what you're saying. I mean, look, I got disqualified on Sister E's channel by a certain somebody. I say, hey, it is what it is. I know my place.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. I keep it moving. Hallelujah. I keep it moving, and I just try to fight the algorithm. I ain't trying to fight other people.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. All right. And see what the land is like, whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak, few or many, whether the land that they dwell in is good or bad, whether the cities they inhabit. Oh my goodness. Jacoba, when you brought out the old world and when you went over that with what Stu Peters was saying, listen, I'm telling you, it's taken me about 5 days to watch that. I still haven't finished it up. I still have 26 minutes because
Really?
I'm like, what? Yeah. I mean, I go on out there. My brain has to comprehend. My brain has to fully digest all the images and sounds and words and lights. I'm looking like I'm epileptic. Like I'm catching seizures from all these images that it's showing because I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, the evidence is undeniable in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, but I've always believed that anyway. So
Me too. I believe the Bible.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
now we're, because I have to lay the foundation, because we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to this for our folks here, because this is gonna be very, very juicy, and we're gonna see why we're about to have X-Men with this new upcoming dispensation in humanity, right? Well, they'll say it's the new humanity, but is it?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? But is it? Here we go. Verse numbers 13 and 20, whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not, be of good courage and bring some of the fruit of the land. Why? Because the fruit of the land tells you if the land is good, right? It tells you if the soil is good, if it's arable, if it can be yield, or if it yields a benefit. Now the time was the season of the first ripe grapes. So it's harvest time. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob, near the entrance of Hamath. And in my opinion, Jacoba, in my opinion, I think that they went as far down south as to the waters of Lake Victoria over towards Tanzania and the Congo.
Oh yeah, I agree 100 with that.
That is my opinion.
And remember, I don't know if y'all remember one of the ancient older maps that they have, and they have a big old Cyclops giant in the middle of the map.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they know. I was doing
Congo. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was doing some research recently, and I went back, and I was listening to what's his name? What's the white professor name who talk about us being Jews?
Tudor
Prophet.
And about the history of the Limba, and the Limba say they came out of Sinner.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there's a Sinnar in what we call the Sudan, right there near Ethiopia and Tigray area.
Yes, there is.
And so if you look at Babylon was in Sinai. Mount Sinai. That's what they call it. But if you look at the original Hebrew, it's Sinai. Right. So,
Mhm.
you know, if you know about the transliteration of the languages, it's really more akin to the pronunciation than the spellings like we deal with. So Sinai, Sinar, they all pretty much the same when it comes to transliteration. And so I went and looked, and all the stuff that we talk about in the Bible, talk about Babylon and stuff. You say, well, where's the remnants of Babylon? They say, well, it's in Iraq. Right. But then you see some of these older maps, you know, and then that goes back to Truth of Veil 777, some of his old stuff, where Babylon is really right there near Egypt, right there near Sudan.
That's
Right.
what I've been
Same
saying.
area where Meroe is. Right. I
Yeah.
think Meroe is remnants of Babylon. You know, the Babylonian kingdom. And so now, you know, and I start looking at this stuff, I'm convinced at this point that that whole area definitely is the biblical area all the way down to South Africa, right? So some people try to make South Africa the land where, you know, Jerusalem is and stuff. No, I believe South Africa part of the land we inhabited, right? You could call it the land of Israel, right? Like I always say, it's sub-Saharan Africa from the west all the way to the east. But I mean, it's me personally, I have no doubt that's the area. I have no doubt, you know, if I have any doubt about Ethiopia being our land, is probably 1%, right? If that, right? Because, you know, but then again, if you don't do the research yourself, you won't ever believe it. But everything starts to line up when you look at East Africa. Because here's the other thing. Remember, in East Africa is where supposedly man was, you know, came from, right? I mean, you know, that's what the scientists say. And a black man, right? Obviously. And guess what? Hamites were occupying what? East Africa, which is Egypt. Where was Canaan? Canaan was a descendant of Ham, right? They all in the same area. Like, you know, it starts to make a whole bunch of sense. And you know, I'm convinced personally.
I mean, that's exactly what I've been saying as well. I've been saying that Sudan is, excuse me, that Sudan is Babylon. I mean, we know that Abraham came out of, what was it, Babylon, the land of the Chaldees,
Yeah,
right?
Ur the Chaldees, yeah.
Right. And we know he spent time in Egypt. I think it was about a year or so. He spent some time in Egypt. Now, there's a lot of accounts that has said that there were no what's it, pyramids at the time before he came, and that pyramids started to come up after he left. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I find that quite fascinating. Also, and I've said this before, if you look at the back of your dollar bill, everybody always likes to say it's talking about the look, it's Egypt. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's Babylon.
Yep.
America is Babylon. She's telling you, but everybody just thinks Egypt, Egypt, Egypt. No, it's Babylon. It's exactly the same pyramids that you find in ancient Babylon, which I believe is Sudan.
Sudan has the most pyramids.
Exactly.
And they're actually older than they predate what you find in Mizraim.
Yep.
And yeah, no, this is a good discussion. Let me keep reading this, because I gotta make sure that our people really orientate themselves. And they went up through the south. They came south. How do you go north to go south? But let's continue this. Right. Numbers 13 and 22. And they went up through the south and came to Hebron, Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai. The descendants of Anak were there. And if you know, brother Kobe, if you want to break this down in the theological context of when you had that there are descendants, that there are giants in the land, right? When there are giants in the land before and after the flood, and why when you see, I was looking at this recently. Stargate Atlantis. So Sister Chantel had caught my Stargate reference, because I've been watching the Stargate Atlantis thing. And so I had to laugh, because when they talk about Atlantis and things of that nature, to me, I kind of think about it like this. When that flood was hitting, they must have had some technology. This is my opinion. They must have had some sort of technology that was able to kind of dome out or shield out the waters. I.e., if you're in a cave and things of that nature, right? If you pressurize a cave or pressurize an area, if you pump out, you can pressurize things. And you may be able to have a bubble of breathable air, oxygen, for a time. Maybe they had an air filtration system. This is me. I told you, we're going to go into this. If you don't have your tinfoil hat, now's the time to put it on. Because I look at it like, why not? They do the same thing with what? Submarines. Do you think that submarines are a new technology? Come on. I mean, Brother Yakoba, let me know. Am I way off base here?
I mean, we don't know exactly what it was like, but we know for a fact that they had high technology, because in the book of Enoch, they taught for the mixing of one species with another, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also know, in my opinion, based upon some of the Gentiles research, and I agree with them about the Rikat structure, which is near Mauritania, which they believe to be Atlantis, right? Or the remnants of Atlantis. And I agree with that. And because if you know the history, Atlantis was near the Straits of Gibraltar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what they call it, the Pillars of Hercules used to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, everything lines up. Not only that, according, like I did in one of my shows when I was talking about the Amorites, the Amorites were described as light hair, white skin or fair, right, and blue eyes, and they were descendants of Og, right, who was a giant. And what did Enoch say about the children of the giants? They were white, right? I ain't saying every white person descendants of giants. I'm saying some white folks are descendants of giants.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense of why they hate us so much, right? When they see us, they kill us without a pause, right? Because they're not us.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna throw another
like
one
us.
into the mix. I'm gonna throw another one into the mix. Remember, and this may shut me down, because now they're gonna say, "Oh, you're a Russophile, Russophile, whatever." Remember, Putin has a distinction between what? The Russians and who? The Anglo-Saxons.
Exactly.
Yeah, they know who's who. I mean, the Russians.
They know who's who in the zoo.
They know a lot of history.
Yes, that's why when people were talking about, oh, he was talking on, Tucker Carlson, and it was all boring. I'm like, no, it wasn't. He was
it wasn't
breaking down who we are under in the land of the giants, and who they are, so they're now withstanding the giants. Listen, today they are trying to prepare themselves for war against the giants.
Come on now.
You
hitting it.
Ooh. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't even understand, because why? Because now the giantisms is what? It's a battle of Japheth versus Japheth. A Japheth versus Japheth. Japheth corrupted, Japheth uncorrupted. Here's the crazy thing. It's not our fight. Because the Most High literally said, I'm going to cause them to do what? To fight each other. Because why? Because I'm not trying to get a corrupted value from you. Because if
I'll just say, it's not us. It's not about us.
Because if I do, then what? Then I go through the same judgment as you. So I'm going to fight you to do what? To stay away from your judgment.
And Putin was giving them a history lesson, right?
Yes, he was.
People wasn't listening. And if you do your research, you find out that the true enemy are, quote unquote, the Germans, right? because all of the, if like I mentioned in some of my shows about Ben Franklin, the only white folks were the Anglo-Saxons, according to him. Everybody else was a color. And then when you research, you find out, okay, you got the Anglo-Saxon who were German, right? You got the Nazis or Oscar. Come on, you know. You got the Nazis, you know. Come on, Oscar. I'm gonna say it like that. And then you got the French, who were also descendants of the Germans, right? The Franks were descendants of the Germans. So the French are really Germans or Anglo-Saxons. Same thing with the British, right? The British are Anglo-Saxons. These are the enemies. That now it answers why they didn't let Russia join and stay a member of the G7, G8, because the Russians are not them, right? They are different.
They're a different.
You can see that they're different as well.
Yes, they're a different line of the branch. They're Yafeth, but they're not in the club of that Anglo-Saxon Yafeth. That's why I try to tell people you gotta be very careful of how you quote unquote label white folks. You have to, because even white folks have a disdain for other white folks because we don't understand their family dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Irish.
And why were the Irish indentured servants? Why weren't they initially part of the ruling, quote unquote, you know, white folks, right?
And then after that, why were they excluded from public places?
Oh, one of these things are not like the other.
Did you see the video that I sent you, Yakoba, on TikTok about some brother over here, Nigerian brother, talking about the Irish?
I think I may. I don't remember. You got to refresh my memory.
Yeah. Yes. The America discriminated against the Italians and the Irish. They surely did.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did see that, and how they ended up becoming police officers and stuff.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
Because they were what? They always tiered the class, right? I may not like you because you're really not me, but I'm going to have you work for me so I can do what? So I can continue to subjugate both you and the ones that I need to have subjugated, which was what? Children of Judah.
Well, why do you think now the Italians, they're starting to understand it's like a line is being drawn and they're starting to see, okay, we need to really start getting on code with certain people. That's why do you think they're trying to say, well, you know, Italy sits on the African plate? It's like, come on, man. They're really trying it. They know, and a lot of people are starting to see that it's kind of us versus them. And not only that, they also understand that they don't have the resources. They don't even have the manpower. Italy is practically empty. For me, I kind of feel they're going to be telling people to come back.
What did they say? 80% of Italy is empty?
Yeah,
80%.
Devoid of people. And they haven't, do you know, they haven't put out their numbers as to, because remember last year, I think it was just sort of like in around about September, that was when they admitted Italy hadn't had any births for 3 months.
For 3 months,
3
yes.
months. They have not put out whether that's continued, whether that trend has continued.
And
so can you imagine?
They won't put it on out. And remember what the Pope said? No. You just had to see. Recently, the Pope said he was encouraging Italians to have babies. I'm telling you, that article literally came out like less than 24, 48 hours ago. The Pope was asking, because Lisa Cabrera covered that. She literally covered that like 24, 48 hours ago.
Yeah.
I think the Italians, especially the Sicilians, are descendants of Esau, right? All that ties back to history with Zepho and stuff, which is why they got, sickle cell, right? They got some of the, attributes.
Yeah,
stuff
I agree.
Yeah. Since the Gates of Holder was breaking it down, those Etruscans. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think all of the truth coming out today, P. Diddy and everybody.
Yeah, listen. What you got to remember, right now they're literally declaring war as we speak, and understand the tapestry of a war that was done. Because why? Because these right here are the black nobles of what? Of Germany. This is called the tapestry of what? Of Wartberg.
And who's that in the castle?
Yes, exactly.
Those are
Who
black
was
folk.
in the castle? Who built the castles?
Mm-hmm.
Who's
They've been
defending the castle? From what?
giants.
Very fuzzy, unkempt, smelly giants. Like, look how big they
And
are.
that was the history of them saying that they fought giants coming in there, right? The whole history of Rome and Italy with Gog and Magog, right? Which we know, according to even them, were giants, right?
Yep.
And it's all coming together. Look, personally, I believe, and I think I've said this before, that the world is managed by the giants, the Nephilim, and we just don't see them. I believe they're on a uncharted, continent where they're living, and they're managing us remotely. That's what I believe.
Do you think the North Pole,
What's
what we
that?
call the North? I said, do you think it could be like the North Pole, or even what they call the South Pole?
I'm
Here's-
gonna go deeper than that. Do you think that maybe Santa Claus is a giant?
Oh yes, I do believe that.
All the gifts
I believe
come
he's
from
real.
the North Pole, and what
He's
are they doing?
real.
They're
Santa
gifting.
is real.
They're gifting what? All these nations. Who?
Well, think about it. It's
Two
Satan, right?
witnesses.
The anagram.
Exactly.
The anagram
Exactly.
is Satan. And what did Admiral Berg say he met when he went to the Antarctic? He met the king of the world.
Yeah, some tall dude. I think he said as well.
Yep.
Yeah, Satan Claus.
But I think what this is just my opinion. I think there's more than one continent besides the seven. Some people think the continents are outside of the wall, and that's possible. But I think there may be an island or two or continent or two, like let's say between the United States and Africa, because you notice we never fly straight.
We never fly straight over. No, we don't.
No.
We don't fly straight over. We always go into a diagonal over Europe, or we come down like through New York, but we kind of diagonal into Africa. We do.
Exactly.
I can't remember some of the films, but I do like to look at the films because they really do put a lot of information in there. And I remember there's a lot of references to islands that disappear, that either sink, not just talking about Atlantis, but sink or is either hidden. How many references have we seen in film, in movies and series?
I know when you're talking about. I know when that you're talking about. Percy Jackson.
There's that. Yeah, there's that. But there's also others as well. I mean, even Thanaskera, which was supposed to be.
Here's another one. Remember the old Superman that was like back in 2006, 2007, and where were they at? On his little kryptonite island.
Exactly. But you remember Justice League, Thanaskera, the home of the Amazons, and we literally saw that in Wonder Woman as well. You had to. It was kind of like some sort of barrier that they couldn't go through, and they didn't know was on the map. I'm like, for me, I'm just thinking there is so much we don't know about our world.
Yep.
And I find it fascinating that people, when you tell them even just the earth is not what you think it is, it's like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, we've got maps. Do you not see they've got satellite? I'm like, you poor delusional fool. You really trust what these people putting out? You really trust that what you listen.
and why is the Fortress of Solitude in the cold north, like the North Pole and that whole area? They be telling, and then his name is Kal-El, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The son of El, which is the son of a god, right? Which is a Nephilim.
Oh, Brother Eric, what's going on? I know you be jumping up. This is too salivating for you. It's like, I gotta go.
Hey, Brother Eric, I know this is your bread and butter as well.
Shalom, Brother Eric.
Shalom, shalom, family. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Man, I was feeling the bumps on the back of my neck. I had to jump. So listen. I want you to go back. I'm not going to be long. I want you to go back and watch this cartoon, this animated program. It's called A Year Without a Santa Claus. Right? You ever heard of Heat Miser and Snow Miser? You remember that cartoon?
Oh, that was one of my favorites growing up.
Yes. Did you notice the technology? Did you notice they were giants and the technology that they had?
That's true. I never thought about that.
Remember the big screen when Snow Miser tells Miss Santa Claus to get Heat Miser on the line?
Yeah.
It was technology.
That's true.
Screen opened up. The big screen opened up, and they was able to talk to you. That was in 1974. We didn't have that, but they had it. They always had it. We're just
so, brother Eric,
these things just being revealed to us, but they always had it.
So, brother Eric, you gotta sing the song. You gotta sing the song, brother Eric.
Oh no, I don't sing, I don't dance. Unless it's a wine, you don't dance, you don't
miser, he's Mr. Sun.
Oh, man.
But listen, if y'all ever go back, watch it, and you'll realize they've been telling on themselves for years. They've been telling on themselves.
Because why? They had to slowly introduce this technology back.
Yes.
Because why? Because somebody is going into servitude to do what? To serve these giants. And if you saw, there was an article literally yesterday. That article said AI was looking at a world where they only needed about 30% of the humans to do what? To serve their needs.
Oh,
Look it up. It was like an open AI thing. I wish I would have saved it. If I could find it, I'll get it on there.
So, family, help me with this. I put it in the chat, but there's, as much as I understand and believe, I don't know everything, and for years something has been bothering me. When you hear about the sons of Anak, I want to know: do y'all think Anak is a Titan or is Anak a fallen angel? What's your opinion?
You know, I think we have to look in the book of Jasher for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and let me get on that here. Anak and Jasher.
I've been struggling with this one for years.
because sometimes it could literally be the principalities themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And because the crazy thing is, you got to remember, there were hosts that were already down here that were thrown on out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why when people are like, "Oh, well, how did Satan get down here?" He was already thrown out.
Right.
So now we have to understand, it's not just that we've been living here by ourselves. We're not alone. They always equate, aliens and things of that nature. We've been visited by aliens.
No, they've been here all this time.
And they've been here.
There was something I wanted to ask actually. Who is more powerful? Was it Samyaza or Lucifer?
That's a good one.
Well, if you go by the book of Enoch, it was Semyaza and what's the other one with an A? What's his name?
Azazel.
Yeah.
Yep.
And context-wise, it seems to me, I think anyway, that Azazel is probably who we call Lucifer or Satan. Semyaza probably another leading ranking, angel, maybe that, or vice versa. It could be either way. But if we go by the book of Enoch, and I think it's legit, when people were saying some of the giants were like 38 feet tall and stuff like that, I think the initial giants could have been that way. I mean, from the evidence we see that's starting to come up now, and
Yeah.
then they became smaller, and more like 19 to 20 feet tall.
Yeah, because you don't have the same atmosphere as well.
If you, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but if you read the book of Enoch, and it said there were 3,000 elves. When you do the math, it turns out that's 450 feet. That's a mountain.
Wow.
A mountain. And then you see some of the images. You see the one that's laying down like she sleep. I think she fell dead. He, she, whatever. This was the wrath of God coming on them.
Oh,
And
you talking about some of the petrified stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
The mountains.
Like the ones that we see, like the one, especially the female giant lying in the snow.
Right. Now that is said to be 2 miles long, 2 to 3 miles long. That is a mountain.
Mm.
Now,
And remember, looked like they had giant trees, so that means they had enough food to supply them.
Yeah.
The stump that's in Wyoming. I think it's Wyoming. Is it Wyoming or Montana? Which one?
Trees.
It's Wyoming. It's Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Yeah, because that's where remember that was Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at it carefully. It is a tree stump.
Yes, I agree.
It
And it kind of falls into place with the Book of Enoch, where the giants had their dream. I think it's also in the Book of the Giants. They had their dream, and the Most High sent angels down to cut these trees down.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So now, what was the reason for them using these trees? They was building their structures. They was using them for weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Because I look at it like this: if you're stuck here, what were they always trying to do? Man, they were always trying to crack the firmament.
Yes.
They were always trying to get back to their first habitation, where they originally dwelled.
Do you think that streak in the sky that we see, that they say is part of the Milky Way, is actually like one of their weapons that graze the firmament?
I don't know.
So family, think about this. Think about the bad habit of cutting people off. I apologize, but listen. Think about this. Think about Jack and the Beanstalk. What was he was climbing a tree?
Yeah.
Trees reached the firmament. Those trees breached the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
They was always trying to get back.
Yes.
Do y'all remember the TV series Babylon 5?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And they were fighting.
I used to like watching that.
Pretty much, it was the story of the angels and the demons fighting each other, the Volons and all that stuff, right? And the shadows.
Yeah.
And remember, they said even in that they were held captive, that the earth was a prison planet. Right? And remember, Satan
and the shadows were under the earth.
Satan then was cast down, can't go back up to the heavens.
That's actually what I was going to say as well, is that between Lucifer and Samyaza, maybe the war in heaven, or some of the not just the war between the Most High as well, maybe the war is also between Lucifer and Samyaza. At this point, we know that Samyaza is under the ground. What happens? We know that the Bible says that they're going to be coming up. They're being held there until the time where they're allowed to come up. What happens what's the dynamics going to be when he and his crew come up with Lucifer?
Let me pose this to something, because this is going to reach out into in the Daniel chapter 12, right? We all are under a principality. We're all under a people. You realize even Israel, Yasharal, is under what? Michael. Right? That's Daniel chapter 12. Not Christ, not Yahusha, but Daniel. Now, think about this. When you look at the statue that you have in Daniel, where he's interpreting the dream of what you have with Nebuchadnezzar, right? The gold, right? Then the silver and the bronze, all the things at the head of the statue was what? Was gold. Because why?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe that was the perfect formation of the principalities. The principalities were all together because why? Because they thought that at that time they subjugated who they need to subjugate to do what? To get back into heaven.
Mm.
And then as the course of time wears off, right? Well, you're not able to do it. I'll try to do it. Well, you're not able to do it. I'll try to do it. I believe that there's there's double meaning. There's multiple meanings. I look at it like this. Maybe look, what was it? Beelzebub. The household, the devil fighting against the devil, the household that the demon fight the demon. Look, the household's gonna fall, right? The kingdom's
Mm-hmm.
gonna fall. Well,
Mm.
I believe that what we're seeing is kingdoms are falling, but they're falling in the sense of what? A principality. And the reason I say that is because what are all these, East Asian movies all about when you see how they're doing things? What was going on with um even what the barbarian tribes and things of that nature? What god did you serve, right? What was your principality that you served? You see what I'm saying? And these are principalities that, well, I'm under this principality or I'm under that principality, and now there's going to be a diluting. Because why? Because now these principalities are fighting other principalities. And then
Mm-hmm.
you're going back. Now you're going down to the toes, and now the principalities are what? They're weaker. It's been a
Yeah.
weakening of the principality system.
Mhm.
And then what? The stone carved out of the mountain that's not by human hands, that does what? That smashes up the 10 toes. Because why? That's the final judgment of the Most High. Because why? In that 10 toes kingdom, we do what? We come back into our land, and they're now trying to do a principality land grab, or basically people grab, right? Multipolar, isn't that what they're trying to say? Well, this
Yeah.
was, it was dual polar, now multipolar, and they understood that polarity is principality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
just saying,
watched
maybe that's me. I'm just saying.
you
I
watched
think
oh, what's it called? Sorry, I just wanted to ask. You watched oh, what is it called? Percy Jackson, the series that's on Disney. Karis.
I haven't watched first the series, not the series. I've seen the movies.
yeah.
The movie's rubbish. The movie's it's garbage. You need to watch the series because it goes so much deeper, and you see how that the gods, quote unquote, are fighting with each other. That we know this from the Greek mythology. I really do like to center a lot on the Greek mythology because the Greek mythology tells you a lot more about how the spirit realm works, how these gods interact with each other. There's another program series on Netflix called The Blood of Zeus. Has anybody seen it? It's an anime.
I've seen that one. Yes, I have.
Yeah, that they came out with the was it the second season, I think.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay. And then you've got others like Ragnarok, not the TV series, not the Norwegian, which was really good, by the way, but the anime Ragnarok, where all these gods come to settle their their issues, but they're using human beings to
Hmm.
fight, and they're using the strongest of these human beings. And I guarantee you that the so-called strongest of these human beings are probably human beings. They're not straight Nephilim, but they have traits of Nephilim in
Mm.
them. Like they are, like you had Jack the Ripper, you have actually no, it was the gods themselves that was fighting as well as normal human beings. So you had normal human beings, or probably Nephilim human beings, who were actually fighting the gods. So I'm like, wow, like they just fling
Well,
it in
see,
your face.
that's the
But
thing, right? If you sorry to interrupt you, but
no, I'm done.
in Babylon, when they built the Tower of Babel, remember, it was to establish and put their gods in heaven and take the Most High down. So, these are the descendants of the fallen, right, making war against the Most High, which is why everybody hates us, because this war has been going on and we had no idea, because we went into captivity for being disobedient. But this war has never ended.
Right. It's because it goes back to good and evil.
Well, it's what do you remember what we were talking about, your cover, about the seed of the woman, and them being like their father and we being like our father, and the bruising of the head and so on and so forth. It's it's so deep.
So they want to make war against us. They have limitations of how they can make war against us, but they know that they can't really completely destroy us because of who we're protected under. Do you see what I'm saying? That is, look, there's a certain thing to being the seed of Abraham, right? There's a seed, right? Certain seeds fall off, certain seeds get trampled down, but there's a physical seed that was literally the promise. But the promise had to go through the darkness to do what? To spring up to the light. Shout out to Sister Shar. We were just talking about this yesterday, of how seeds work. Now, the seed of the serpent is now been trying to trample over our, us as a people, but now they know that their time of being able to trample is coming to an end. That's what the time of the Gentiles is coming to an end.
Right.
And now they're fighting each other because they're jockeying for position. I'm trying to explain this to folks, because people are like, well, they're all going to get destroyed. No, they're not.
Somebody has to serve us.
Well, it's a servitude of what? It's a servitude by way of what? Financial and economic positioning. And I think people think about servitude of, oh, they're going to be in the house. No, because you want to know why? Because a lot of these countries have been in what? In service to Babylon, U.S., UK, things of that nature.
I was referring to your point that they all can't be destroyed because somebody's supposed to serve us. So they all can't be.
Yeah, so I'm trying to break down the aesthetic value of servitude, right? It's a service to do what? I'm paying for what? The goods of service, right? I'm paying you. It's not that, it's not chattel slavery. It's not slavery. It's servitude, right? Service. The service has to be paid for, because why? Because somebody now needs to be able to eat. And guess what? They're going to bring in goods and other things, right? They're coming in and out of the land, and to be able to service and provide that transactional.
So here's the thing. I think there's degrees of servitude or slavery.
Yes.
And remember, when they some we're going to have as slaves, but then some we're going to give to the Sabaeans. Why? Because it's going to be more rigorous under the Sabaeans than under us.
Yes.
Agree with that.
Exactly. So those that are into captivity will what? Go into captivity. This is a time they're going into captivity. And I don't know about you all, but Novosibirsk, or whatever you want to call it, that sucker gets real cold and during winter. I don't know how you can survive at negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, it seemed like the Edomites is built for that, so I have no problem with it.
Even they have limits. Come on,
They
now.
have limits. Exactly. Come on.
If that was desirable for them, we wouldn't see them all in the Caribbean, South America, and in Africa. We just
Well,
wouldn't.
I think that's only because that's their nature to kill, steal, and destroy. It ain't because they enjoy. Yeah, listen. I mean, I go on. I travel to the Caribbean a lot,
Mm.
and when I tell you these Edomites, they're off the chart. These people will literally go out in the sun and bake themselves till they look like a lobster. Literally.
I've seen it. Yeah.
And then the next day they will go right back out in the sun and bake themselves again. Now, is that a person that has? I mean, because you're seeing them. Oh, they go to hug each other, they go to kiss each other, and they can't stand to be touched because you're burnt. Then you
No
go
pain,
right
no
back
gain,
out
brother
in the
Eric.
sun and bake yourself again.
And then they wonder why there's like this mold that keeps growing and it just keeps dipping in, and next thing they know, they get told they got skin cancer and they got to cut things out.
Bacon.
Yes, but it must be something about this melanin that they want so bad to look like. Must be something about this blessing that the Most High gave us that they need. They can't help they can't help themselves to look like us. These are weird people. I say they have hybrids. I don't care what nobody say. I don't believe they're fully human, if human at all. Because the things they do are human beings. Somebody with a soul wouldn't do.
I'm trying to break down. Okay, yeah, that's scripture. He that leads into captivity shall go into captivity. That is true. But here's some issues that people have. We were scattered to the four corners of this earth. We were, but we were scattered by a certain group of people. China didn't come in and scatter people. The Russians didn't come in and scatter people. There are a group of people that scattered. Those people know they're going to go into captivity.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we going to sell them to? Sabaeans. We're going to sell them to ourselves, so we're Sabaeans now. I'm just saying, let's try to make this, let's get some practicality. Let's get some basic thinking on in here, right?
I think the Sabaeans are just the middlemen, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, because who are they going to really be sold to? And to me, I think that they're getting ready to go into captivity and to something far worse and far greater than anything that we can imagine. And I think that you're seeing it with this tapestry.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this question, though.
That's what I believe. Because why? Because remember, when everything gets destroyed, somebody rises from the ashes. Oh, we're back. We got to put things into place. Look, you had our stuff. You destroyed it 200-300 years ago. And now we're back. And, we have to bring things into, they're going to say, quote unquote, what's that word? Equilibrium, things of that nature.
Brother Karras, what is that other? I forget the name of it. It's the next tapestry where it shows the Edomites in slavery. I forget the name of it.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I'm going to tell you, look, our people, we just are like, well, everybody's going to go into captivity. Everybody's going to go into captivity. And it's like, no, that's not what the word actually says. Those that lead into captivity shall do what? Shall go into captivity. We have to read the word. And I know our people are emotionalized over that. Everybody's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Did everybody take us into captivity worldwide?
No.
Do you think that they mean everybody in terms of the Gentiles, like the Edomite Gentiles?
They're thinking everybody. Even Hamites.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what it says.
That's how our people think, and it's like.
And just to add to your point, Brother Karras, it couldn't be true, because then there's an army later on, right before.
Bingo.
Exactly.
Kingdom that comes against us.
So people. So people emotionalize, because I get it. Yeah, everybody wants to have payback. But that's not the order of things. Why? Because the Most High raises up, and he's raising up an army to do what? To fight them. And that's happening right now, even in this very day, even in this very hour.
There's also scripture, I can't remember, I think it might be in Ezekiel, where it talks about Egypt being blessed. Oh, that they will is it Egypt and I can't remember another country, but they're going to be things will be set right with them as well because they've been oppressed by these same people. So
Exactly.
the Most High says, I'm going to bless Egypt as well because of what they went through. Remember, they went into their captivity as well. People forget that. The people that you're seeing are their captors.
Yes. Yeah.
But if you remember, there was a time when Egypt and Israel were good with each other. They were
Yeah.
you know. So the Most High fulfilling his promise, he said, I will bless them that bless you and curse them that curse you. Everybody didn't subjugate us in the terms of everybody, but as a nation, there were nations that put us in captivity. Those nations are going into captivity. Now, they are individuals.
Well, they're thinking everybody is going into captivity. Everybody, look, hey, that's between you and the Most High to get that figured on out. But that's what the word says.
Can
The
I
word
say
says
something in
that
regards
those
to
that
that?
leave into
Actually,
captivity will go into captivity. And on top of that, that's when we are at rest because then in those latter days or in those latter times, then they're going to bring their armies about because why? Then there's going to be an evil thought. To who? What, the people in captivity? No, the people that had not subjugated us, but realized that they don't have the resources because why? Because they're going to be really in an era of these new giants that's going to be coming on the land.
and doing what they did before.
And
flood.
exactly.
But I wanted to say something to you, Brother Eric, in regards to what you said about them, the other nations going in. What's that? Sorry?
No, I said blessings to you. I didn't greet you properly.
Oh, it's okay. Cool. Yeah, but I was just going to say that where it says that the Most High will bless those that bless us and curse those that curse us. Remember, Egypt, they blessed us. They allowed us to come in, and we had a good life for a while. The Pharaoh that came in, he wasn't exactly Egyptian, but
he
then
was Assyrian.
He was. But the Egyptians, they didn't actually stop. They just allowed it to happen as well. As a result, when we was in there for the duration that we was in there, and it wasn't 400 years, which we all know that. But they subjugated us, and as a result, when we left, what happened? They were cursed. Not to mention, back and forth, we had good relationships with them, but also because of the fact that of what they had done. And sometimes the relationship would go sour, but for the most part, we had a good relationship. It just depended on what Pharaoh was ruling. The same thing as these leaders today, right? Because it's about policy. It always has been. But they also have endured their curses right along with us. They're not in their land like how they used to be. Some of the people that are in Sudan are Egyptians. We know that those people saying we're Egyptian, no, you're not. You're not.
Yeah, they're actually They're actually Turkish.
Yeah.
Greeks. They're Turkish and they're Greeks.
All that northern area, those are all Turks and French that came colonize the northern part of Egypt, of Africa. When they always try to separate North Africa from Africa. You know, I mean, people they're weird. They're weird thinking. But Sister Chantel, in terms of what you were saying, when you read the scripture, and it says, "Let us deal wisely with them, lest our enemies join together." Basically, I'm paraphrasing, and fight against us. They remember the Assyrian Pharaoh when he colonized and took over Egypt. He remembered when Egypt and Israel were close. So they build a strategy. Let us make the Egyptians the overseers over the Israelites. We took over your land, but we're going to make you an overseer over the Israelites.
Listen, it goes deeper than that. Remember, Israel, when they broke into two, what gods did they serve? They served the Egyptian
gods. Yeah.
But that's part of their plan.
Still to this day. with them
Yeah,
Hotep brothers.
yes, they do. With their crystals, yes, they
Right,
do.
right,
To this
right.
very day.
But in
That's
terms
crazy.
of the Assyrian that took over the Egypt,
Mm,
this strategy to maintain power. We took over your land, but we're going to make you rulers over the Israelites.
Hmm.
And I'm wrong. This is the way I see it, just my opinion. And that's what caused the friction. That's what caused that. And also remember when Israel was in captivity and they were fighting, I forget what nation it was, and we told them, listen, let us help you fight this nation. I can't remember what it is right now offhand.
Hmm.
And when they saw how vigorous we fought and
I
how we
think it
were
was
winning.
against the Ishmaelites.
That was
yeah,
Jasher. That was
and
Jasher.
that was with Edom. It was all of them. It was
Yeah.
basically a family affair,
Yes, it
and
So the
was.
Egypt was the
stayed
only
back.
one that wasn't related.
So the Egyptians stayed back while we fought.
Yeah,
And then we're noticing, wait a minute, we're helping you fight, but you're leaving us out there for the slaughter.
Yep.
So on return, they killed the Egyptians. We should not have done that. And
no,
that also led to the friction and us not being together or close as we was at a time. I don't know if you
and
maybe I'm not
I know what you're talking about. I agree with you, and that's probably what led to the Egyptians allowing this Assyrian to come in and to turn it. And for me, it's as you were talking about it, all I kept thinking is that was a very Edomite tactic that he did.
Mhm. Yeah,
Very Edomite.
divide and conquer.
Right, exactly. Cause discourse among brethren. That's Esau's way. We see that today. They still do the same thing. Cause friends to hate each other, family to fall out. That's what he does. And
But
then
who
he comes in and takes whatever he wants.
Yeah.
originally? Who
Yeah.
implemented that divide and conquer originally? Did it not happen in the garden?
Mm.
Exactly.
So
There you
who
go.
follows who follows that line of thinking? The Edomites. So it ought to tell you. See, if you do a little just basic reasoning, you'll see who's who. The
Hmm.
Edomites are the freaking seed of Satan. They follow his rules. They follow his plan. They to the letter. Kill, steal, and destroy.
Well, and could that be because they're following their principality?
Yes.
Yes.
And guess what? And now people are trying to get out of that principality because why? If you see, the whole thing with BRICS, in my opinion, is they're trying to have an alternative to get their principality away from the principality that's getting judged, right? Oh, we're out of here. That's not going to be our judgment. That's not going to be our fate, right? So we're now leaning in this BRICS union because why? Because now all those that were following that principality, right? Hey, it's good over here. You got conquered by us back in the 1800s and 1900s, and you were able to drink the same cup that we drank from. And now you're waking up and realizing that you're about to get judged alongside with us. Now come on and form up and let's fight. Let's fight who the Most High is going to put up for us to fight. And these folks are like, nah, you're on the losing side. I'm out of here.
If
Yeah.
I may bring up one point about the Giants, and because I know you've seen Attack on Titan, Brother Karras, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
You
I've seen
remember
that too.
who because I was just remembering the original Titan Ymir, how he was the original Titan, and he gave his power to his descendants, and they all had the power of the Titans. So that
Mhm.
kind of it's kind of like gives you like Nephilim vibes and fallen angel vibes if you really think about it.
Because what was the whole point? How did they pass on that power? Oh, I'm getting a.
Oh, by blood, by shedding blood.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, brother Eric, I had to mute you. Getting that reverb.
They had to bite themselves and shed blood.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were eating. They were eating the blood. And what is it that the word says? Don't eat the blood because why? It's the life source.
Wow, I never thought about that because yeah, I mean, they literally bit themselves, and then if I remember, once they became titans, it shortened their lifespan.
It did. Exactly. Once they became giants, right? Once they took that blood oath, that blood covenant, then they got messed up. And you're right. And once they became giants, yes, they were. How many years did they have?
I think that was it 10 or I think it was like 10 or 20 years or something. Something small, something
No,
brief.
7 years.
Oh, snap. Of course. Obviously. 7 years. Just a coincidence.
7 years. All right, brother Mike, what's going on? And then I gotta start wrapping this thing on up because we're gonna be here all day. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Man, I don't know what you're talking about. I was just coming in because it was something that Eric said when it came to technology. So now, who can we look at? I mean, if you go on like these media channels and things, you see China is pushing out so much different technology, it ain't even funny. I'm like, man, how do these people come up with this? Are they really that smart? So now, I mean, it leads to a question. I mean, are they getting help to do some of the things that they're pushing out? You know what I'm saying? And that's the question, because I was listening to Jacob and I was listening to Eric, and they was talking about these things, and I'm like, man, I mean, who's helping them out? Or are they just really that smart?
Brother Yacoba, you're going to have to answer this one, Brother Yacoba, because I know where you're going to go with this.
I mean, what's the question?
All right, go ahead.
China's technological advances, is that angelic help, or is that from the flesh? Which one? I know you're going to go with this.
I mean, all of this is angelic technology. I believe even like with AI is, like I said in one of my shows, is from the bottom up, right? And it's an invasion, but it's an invasion through technology, and it's an indirect way to take over, the world, So that's what I believe.
Let me add one more to there. They were saying that since literally, this is crazy. Since 2014, 2015, China's foreign policy has been driven by artificial intelligence. Come on.
If you think about it, AI is like a medium also.
Family, y'all hear
Just
about
like
that
an advanced
that
medium where they could speak
that
through
AI that was generated to say that a Hebrew killed a cop's daughter, and it was all a lie? Did y'all hear about that?
I didn't
say
know
it again,
that.
brother Eric.
Oh my
say
goodness.
it again, brother Eric.
I'm sorry. There was a AI generated thing that where it said that a cop had killed this Hebrew's son, and then the son, the father laid in wait to kill the cop's daughter, and they put it out there as if it was
Willie D covered that 3 days ago. Willie D covered that. Oh my goodness.
So now think, family, just think, this is going to be another tactic that they're going to use to try to subjugate us and to make them folks angry with us. They are coming. They're going to hit us with everything they're going to throw at us. I don't believe it's going to work. It's going to be found out, but this is what we're up against.
Wow. I even said something to Mike about that. I was talking to you about this, Mike. Was I not a couple? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is what they have for us.
I tell you, man, there's so much stuff going on now. Man, I mean, I don't know. It's just like you got to take this stuff day by day. I mean, what? Shucks, dude. I mean, I see I see the use of AI more and more and more, and especially when it comes to the movies, they really truly just trying to make you one with this machine.
Yep.
I mean, all the movies. I mean, if you go and look at them, man. I mean, I just looked at a lot of AI movies, and all of them had one thing: we need to be linked 100% together.
Okay, Mike. Oh, you went to that was my final point, Mike. You went into there. You went into there. That was my final point. Now, everybody that's now right, neural linked, brain
Yeah.
chipped.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Technology is so great that why? I just want to have convenience because why? Man, I think they're about to be controlled. And I think to be honest.
Remember the Terminator.
Oh, so, okay, here I go. It is going to be, this is on out there. Everybody get that aluminum foil strapped up to your head. Put all the little antennas and coat hanger wires and everything else.
No, but they're not playing with it. They're not playing with it. They're going full steam ahead with this stuff.
Mike, when this AI technology goes,
let me say it again.
Do you think in that AI technology, I think about this, will they only be allowed to see what the AI lets them see? So they're not able to see the real giants.
I think so.
And that could be the point. It could be, especially if you're talking about implanting a chip.
Yes.
And hey, all they got to do is hit a certain nerve. Oh, you ain't gonna see this here.
Yes.
Exactly.
They have a technology that we just haven't figured out yet.
Because what are they trying to do with the quantum computers? So they can do trillions, septillions, whatever that thing is, that they will, that you cannot, you'll be in a reality, but you're not in all the reality.
Yes. And I'll give you a perfect example. Now, I've been into this UFO thing for many years, decades. All right. Because I believe, it's true. And I've seen a few of these episodes where the military said they would enter on the outside, the ship looks a certain size, but when they enter the ship, it's so much bigger, and they can't figure out how their mind, equates, why that happens. Well, you're entering another reality. You're entering
exactly.
And then
you saw that in Harry Potter. You know that, right?
Haven't figured out yet.
And that's what they're doing with what? Quantum computers, right? Quantum technology, right? They what do they always say in these sci-fi movies, right? The space in between the space.
Wasn't that a line in the end of Indiana Jones, the fourth one with what's his name? Shia got stuck in my throat. Shia LaBeouf or Shia LaBeouf or Shia the cow, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, he said that the space between space. Where are they going to? The space between the space. That's what he said. And the funny thing is, I literally said, I was saying, this is why I was saying that if you check the whole, if you understand Greek mythology and you understand that their power comes from the worship of human beings, for us to worship them, it empowers them, right? And then you see that that their goal is to link us. The whole purpose of the MOB is to remove us and to cut us away from the Creator. I know Jacoba did a video on that, and he showed it where they were in some a small room at auditory, like at university or whatever, and they were talking about um, selecting that part of the brain to eradicate, you know, fanaticism, like, or people who are religious. They want to kill God for them, and to replace the Most High, replace the Creator with something else. I was literally saying to my mum the other day, it's like when you looked up at that, how they had us, they did this to us. Everything that they're doing now, they used us as a guinea pig. For example, this is what I said to my mom. When we look at how they changed us, how they made us worship them as gods. Remember, we especially Judah is the praisers, right? And the whole of Yasharel is praising them, and we're supposed to be the prophets, the priests, and the kings of this earth, right? And you have those that sit on the pinnacle of rulership praising this deity that they set up, right? How much power are you giving to them? When you look at, hold on, I just want to quickly finish. I'm gonna be done.
Go ahead. Go
When
ahead.
you during the eclipse, yeah, when we looked at the sun, what did we see? The sun was always there, right? The sun was there. It's just that the moon came in its path, and we even though it's like we're looking up, and instead of us seeing the sun, they put their image, they put everything about them and their God there to replace the Most High, so that we were giving them the glory and not the Most High. But the Most High, they had hoped to disconnect us, but you can't disconnect us from the Most High, not in that way anyway. So the only other option that they have now that they've got the technology, although they've had it all this time, but it was they just couldn't do it because for reasons, but they couldn't do it at the time before. Now that they have the technology, it's not even just that, it's also the conditioning of people's minds. The whole earth is literally ready to embrace Satan. So now that the timing is right, now they can implement their MOB. Now they can have Satan can sit as the moon blocking the sun for a lot of people. But what he wants to do is to do this to us. So, like I said, the question in his mind and in the Greeks, the mind of the Greeks and the mind of the Gentiles is this: how do you kill a god without killing a god? Because all life comes from the Most High. All life, that spark comes from him, right? If it were possible, what do you think would happen? What would happen to this world if oxygen was sucked right out of it?
That's it.
No one would survive. You cannot survive without the Most High. So in their mind is, how do I defeat the Most High but maintain him alive, keep him alive? But I want his power. That's it. That's the equation. Kill him, but don't kill him. Literally have him there, contained, and we can sap his power. I can put myself there as God, and all will bow down and worship me. That's the mind. That was the Greek philosophy. That's the mind of the Greeks. That's the mind of all these Greek gods. If you watch Clash of the Titans and the other one, the second one, these gods were their powers were waning. Why? Because humanity was moving away from the gods. They were shifting away from worshiping the gods, and they were coming into reasoning, the Greek reasoning. And they understood, these gods, these angels, these fallen angels, understood that they had to change, they had to adapt. We can no longer portray ourselves as this for mankind to worship us. Now we have to adapt to this. And that's what they've been doing, constantly adapting. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you, Sister Chantel. All right. Well, I'm going to leave this here for final comments. I'm going to say thank you all for joining this panel. I I appreciate you all coming on board. I know that Jacoba's on, so I'm definitely going to get a YouTube algorithmic reprimand.
Just calling his name did it.
YouTube's the equivalent of Scott. Jacoba's the equivalent of Scott Ritter on YouTube. They're just going to pull your passport.
That's a good example.
Pull your passport.
I heard Elder Asa say that earlier.
Oh boy.
I'd be the first to go ahead and get up out here, Karis. I got to go take care of some business. But you brothers and sisters, you all continue to take care of yourselves and keep your head on the swivel.
Shalom,
I'll get back at
Mike.
you, Jacoba and Brother Eric.
Shalom to you, Brother Mike.
Shalom.
All right, Brother Mike.
All right,
Shalom, Brother Mike.
Shalom.
All right, shalom, family. Take care.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Thank you,
I
brother.
will go next if you don't mind. There was something I wanted to say. I just slipped my mind. Anyway, in terms of us getting preparing for our exodus, we need to come together and just love on each other. Don't let any little disagreement tear us apart or keep us apart. That's what Satan's design is, to divide and conquer. If we're apart, we can't do the things we need to do to better ourselves. We want the Most High's face to turn to us totally and send his angels to guard our path, to do what we need to do to get out of this place. That's only going to happen if we come together and love each other. That's it. That's all I have.
All right.
And thanks for having me, Brother Karis.
All right. Thank you, Brother Eric.
Easy peasy. I gone.
Thank you, Brother Eric. I'm sorry. The bacon and the sun reference that you had earlier today, that was a classic. So they stay in the sun just to get burnt, and then they go back the next day and stay in the sun, and then they can't even hug each other.
That's what they do.
That was a classic example. I'm sorry, family. You heard it here first on Covenant Awakenings. Hallelujah. Brother Jacoba, you know, I'm glad you came on board. We had a good discussion. Right now, Brother Jacoba, they are interviewing folks there in Normandy right now. And that's where they're going to kick things off. What do you? I look at this. I've said this, and I'm saying this now. We probably have about a good 60 days until like an armed conflict. They're giving us a window. What do you think, Brother Jacoba?
Well, it seems that way. I mean, at this point, it can happen at any time. It's sort of funny. I was reading an article, and I think it was Germany who was saying, yes, we have to build up our military for a conflict with Russia for 2026. I'm like, I don't think you have that long.
No,
right?
No, they're talking about like 2026 is in like, 26 days or 26 weeks. That's what they want to code it. Yeah, about 6 months. Yeah. Oh, boy.
But, it's interesting, and this will be my final comments, but when we look at what we were talking about today, before the Israelites went into the land, they had to confront giants. It's amazing to me that we're discussing giants, right? And, like I made the analogy before, like the Dry Bones project, people going to spy out the land, right? Just like with Caleb and them. And so, a lot of people let's put it this way. You'll have a good part of the Israelite community who are going to say everything we talked about today is BS, right?
Of course.
And that's because, one, in my opinion, there's no spiritual direction and leading, right, of a lot of people who claim to be Israel, right? They in it for other reasons and stuff, but that's just my opinion. But when we look at what's happening today, we can see all of the truths coming out, right? Look, if you study these things, like for instance, if you study the whole thing about Ethiopia being where Jerusalem is, you'd have to say, well, you could make a pretty good case, right? Whether or not you agree 100%, right? If you study the whole idea of ancient civilizations and ancient architecture and giant books and giant typewriters and seeing images of giants in the early 1900s in America, you'd have to say something ain't right, right? And so when we look at the history of Atlantis, and then you find out there's the recot structure and all these things, and like this guy listened to Divergent, right? He talks about a lot of these things, and he admits, he said, well, his grandpa don't know who his daddy is either, right? So you got to admit that there's something that happened with the whole thing with the orphanages and the trains and all this stuff. This world is not what you think, right? We've been in a bubble or in a matrix from birth. Right. And the Bible says that the devil deceives the whole world. Well, hey, we didn't know the deception was this great. Right. We don't know who we are. We didn't know who we are till the Most High woke us up. How in the heck you think you know what the world is and what history is and where Israel is, where Jerusalem? Let me stop. They've been lying for like thousands of years, And so when you start peeling, the banana and taking off the pills, you start to say, well, hey, there's something here, right? Whether or not you agree 100% with all of the conclusions, the history says there were giants, and they're still here, in my opinion. They're just not showing themselves. And this is why Israel have so much tribulation, because they're the ones managing our oppression.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. Good breaking bread with y'all today, Brother Karras, Sister Chantel, and panel. And this was a good conversation. I wish Brother Red was here. That would have been great.
I know.
I know he's working. The man got him. We couldn't spring him off the digital plantation. Listen. The algorithm could only do so much today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm literally 497 subscribers as we are viewers right now. And let me tell you, like when we talked about this earlier, 500 right now looking. When we talked about this earlier, there is a concerted effort to keep discussions like this off of YouTube.
Yeah.
And we're not playing, family. Look, Yakoba would be around 300,000 subscribers. I'd probably be around maybe 40 or 50,000. With what the metrics are.
Definitely.
But this is where we're at. Because why? Because it's warfare. Warfare comes in all shapes and sizes: economic, physical, spiritual, financial, informational. It's all warfare. And guess who gets warred on a lot? We do. But I wanted people to see that. Look, all of a sudden, I couldn't even break 100 people yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy, Ken.
You know what I'm saying? And now it's 500 people.
Yeah.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
Yeah, I was watching, man. Your views were just like up, down, up, down.
that thing was on a sick. That thing was at. Listen, I don't live that far from Busch Gardens. That thing was on a roller coaster yesterday.
Oh yeah.
That thing was on a roller coaster.
They were messing with you bad yesterday.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. They said, you want to talk about the final countdown? Now you're going to be on this roller coaster.
Yeah. I mean, you literally went from like 70-something to like 20-something in like 3 seconds.
I know. It was like 14, then 99. It was like, what? Yo, they were not trying to have me break 100. Maybe that 100 thing was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so that's why you don't get... Yeah, go ahead.
That's why we don't worry about numbers, huh?
Yeah, that's why I said, look, I'm not trying to worry about numbers. I ain't trying to worry about subscribers. Because why? Because YouTube ain't never going to give me no subscribers. Nah. Look. Grow your channel. For what?
Yeah, for what?
For what? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. Look, this is what we fight against, right? Our fight is against flesh and blood, but it's literally these principalities. That's literally what we're doing right here. So, that's what I say. Look, please support our channels. Support Teo Ministries. Support Sister Shonda. Support brother Pastor Rick Fletcher, Sister Gates Holder, and all the channels that you get spiritually fed, actually wholesome spiritual fruit. You can also support this channel at $ Covenant Awakenings. You know, give as the Most High leads you. I'm not gonna tell you, I feel somebody's got 1,000 for me. Hallelujah. Do you feel that too? I feel it. Yes, Master, I feel it too.
You'll lose your Israelite subscribers, but you'll gain some new ones if you start acting like that.
Yeah, family. Make sure y'all help Brother Karis out, because y'all don't know what we go through. It ain't just financial, it's spiritual, it's everything. I mean, health-wise, you name it. Y'all don't know what we go through behind the scenes, man. I'm sure, just like I don't, Karis don't tell you half the stuff he's going through.
I can't tell you half the stuff because y'all won't even laugh. Y'all be crying.
Y'all be crying.
Y'all be
I'm serious. That's true.
Y'all be kicking stuff. Y'all will be punching walls and punching holes in the wall. I'm not trying to have anybody work on going to Home Depot and plastering up their wall after kicking something. Nah, man. That's why I have to go and I have to take a walk / run with my dog Ray so I can say, Father, help me with this stuff, because I don't know what type of ignorance you gonna have me deal with. Hallelujah. And I go from there. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it's a fight. If you're on the front line, you fighting, you are.
Yeah. And you on the front line, everybody tries to hit you with that bop gun, and guess what? What happens, Jacoba? Look, I feel like, you ever see Hamburger Ridge? Or another Hamburger Hill back in the day?
No, I never watched that show.
Sorry, and then I get Swiss cheesed up by all these bullets, and I'm just laying on, messed up, kicked out, contorted, neck broken up.
Look. Say, Carrie, do you ever do this if you say, Most High, I'm human, right?
you don't care. He folds you like a pretzel. Most High don't care.
But you know everything I hear? My grace is sufficient. I say, yes, Lord.
Yep. That's it. Hallelujah.
All right, fam. Good sharing with y'all. I'm out.
All right. Thank you.
Do it again, family, because this was fun. I liked it. All right.
You should have been on yesterday's one.
Yeah. We got to get that build up. We got to get that build up. The algorithm, they're paroling me.
Wait, you got parole?
Yeah, no more Europe. Look, listen, no more Final Countdown. No, I guess Chantel and I singing was breaking down the walls of the AI Jericho. So that was
all right, fam. See y'all.
All right, shalom, brother.
Shalom.
All right, Sister Chantel, final thoughts.
I'm not going to be long. It was good to be here. It's good to be with everyone. And you need to do this again, more of this. I think the people like this, it's fun, and we have, we can see things on a serious note as well, so that's how we do things anyway. We need to be able to pace ourselves, and that's how we cope. Mm-hmm. So, but it was good. It was fun. Yesterday was fun as well. Is that still up or is it gone?
I think it's still up.
Okay. I'm actually quite shocked with that.
Oh yeah, they're coming for our media. They're coming for anything that you try to post, anything that you try to share. I'm surprised it'll be like, you gotta take your whole channel down because you shared that tapestry.
So we're literally on the cusp of what was it, Amos 8? How there's a there's going to be a famine of the people, or a famine in the land, but not of bread and water.
Yeah, it's a famine of knowledge, right? It's a famine of knowledge in the land. It's a famine of the word. That's what we have here. It's a famine of the word. And what happens right before you have a famine of the word, or right after there's a famine of the word, there's war. That's what the Most High does. Look, we have to declare this. We're declaring this amongst the Gentiles. Declare. We're not going to be able to save. They have to save themselves. Okay? Understand, Gentiles, you have to save yourselves. There's a choice that you have to make. All we're going to do is tell you that when it's time to go, it's time to go. And there's not going to be anybody here trying to talk anybody out of leaving when the mushroom clouds start coming. Hey, aren't you here to fight? No, we understand our habitation. We got to get going because we don't do very good in that nuclear fallout. I don't know about you,
Fight for what?
but
You know
there
what?
ain't no amount of cocoa butter.
It's not even that. It's like, how dare you even come? They better not come to none of us. Any of us. We should be the last group of people,
And
the
that
diaspora. You
and
should not
that
even.
and that's
And
why they had the open borders and everything else. And Biden just closed the borders, quote unquote, temporarily. Because why? Because they found their quota for the migrant recruits per se. Shit, well, cursed is a nation that does what? That stacketh people that stacketh people like clay.
numbering. That's called numbering.
Yeah.
And that's what David did. And the Most High was very displeased with him. This is what he said: don't follow what these other nations do. That's what they do. And they just grab anybody and just,
Mhm.
like you keep
And,
saying,
and you don't
vulture.
even know if they're a friend or foe.
Exactly. That's just stupid.
That's terrible. So why? That's why the men of Babylon, they said in that day that they'll what? They'll fold over like a woman in travail.
Mm.
That's Jeremiah 15:51. The mighty men of Babylon. Wow. And now I can see this very day, literally this very hour, this very moment, they're falling into their own folly. And they're falling to their own folly because they're going back and they're going to be in service to their principality, whether they like it or not. And it's going to be a very, very bad one. See, we'll be seeing all this stuff and be like, how come they don't see all them all them things over there? Oh, it's that brain chip. It's that Neuralink. Okay.
People getting pushed around and they can't even see it. Who hit me? Who hit me? All got their fisticuffs up and they can't even hit nothing because they can't see nothing.
They don't understand. Look, they're just in their matrix world. That is crazy. And that is literally what they're getting ready to do to them now as we speak. You understand, family. You may not like the Gentiles. I get it. But man, I wouldn't even want to do that to my own dog. I'm sorry. Come here, Ray. Let me put a brain chip in you so I can run you into the wall. Remote control. Let me type this code to have you just
That's
jump
rough.
all day.
Speaking of which, they put all those chips in these poor animals. I mean, what's gonna happen to them? Your animals might actually turn on you.
Look, you know what's going to be so messed up? They're going to be making them serve, parakeets.
Oh Lord.
That parakeet's going to be talking to a cage. Give me my seeds. Give me my water.
You sound like Mickey Mouse. Oh.
Cursed is a people that is ruled by Mr. Ed. Goodness.
I really feel sorry for them. I do. I mean, by the time this is done, we're going to be shaking our heads and saying, oh my gosh. And then we will be saying, we would have saved you. We would have healed you if you only listened to us. And that's literally, what is that? Jeremiah 50 verse 9 or 51 verse 9? I can't remember. It's one of them two.
I think it's 50 verse 8 or 50 verse 9. Yeah. But she refused to be saved. Refused.
They don't realize that this is us saving. When we tell you, you're doing this. When we say, oh, you want to talk about man versus bear? Let's talk about you versus the other you, right? And then what happened? The whole lot of she's got mad. But they if you want to talk about how they don't see things, that was a classic example. What has that got to do with man versus bear? And we're sitting over here and we're like, are you kidding me? But they got mad with men for getting mad at them about choosing the bear. And they got mad at black women for saying, well, we know what men are like, and the men haven't really, but we dealing with you is a different kind of beast altogether. Not to mention, if you got a problem with your men, then raise them right. Why is it nobody wants to talk about that fact? But whenever it's one of our young brothers that have done something, or you just fling the family, oh, the mother's this and the father's this, the father, he grew. But you don't want to talk about you. Look at all the 50 million serial kids you got under your belt. Shut up. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway.
All right. Thank you, Sister Chantel.
Thank you for having me on. Shalom, everyone.
All right. Shalom. All right. Family, I appreciate you all hanging in there. You know what? This has been really a great week in terms of what we're seeing the Most High doing. And when we see the Most High moving, guess what? The enemy loves to come against you in all forms and fashions. It is no lie. Thank you, family, for your support, your continued support. I'm telling you, that was the Most High right there. You can continue to support this channel at $COVAWK. Because, family, I'm going to tell you, the work is only going to get harder. And it's not going to get harder just for me. It's going to get harder for us. Please support Quest to Unite Africa. We need volunteers, family, and we need volunteers that are able to, or that have a background in logistics, administration, IT, telecommunications. If you're a lawyer, we need your help. If you're a doctor, we need your help too. If you do physical engineering, construction engineering, mechanical engineering, yes, we need your help. If you have those skills, or you just want to see where you can be able to get in, to fit in, come on through, visit the website, questtouniteafrica.org. That's questtouniteafrica.org. I'll put that in here. Continue to pray for us at Quest to Unite Africa, because we're doing some very, very high level negotiations on some things that will be very awesome, not just to the organization, but to the community at large. Oh, and happy birthday, Sister Chantel. She was trying to fly in the night. Look at that. But you know what day it is? It's 666, because it's 6624. Oh boy. No. do, 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 do. Oh boy. All right, well, family, that's all I have for today. I really do have to get up here and get rolling. The day has it's just got started. No, it didn't get started. It got started a couple hours ago. But y'all know what I mean. Have a blessed and wonderful day, and know that you are blessed and truly highly favored. If you didn't know, I want you all to go to a mirror and look at that mirror and look at yourself and say, I am blessed and highly favored because I serve an awesome Elohim, and I'm covered under the blood of his son, Yahusha HaMashiach. See, if you didn't know, words have power. And what they're mad about is we're taking back our power. and we're speaking life, and we're speaking prosperity, and we're speaking health and healing over us and over our people. That's where we're at in this time. That's why they're so scared. And that's why they're going through their judgment. So with that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings. Yasharel.